Hi, welcome to week 4. We'll be talking about memory this week. Last week with our coverage of sex and gender and sexuality, you folks did a really great job with the discussion board, a number of really thoughtful and interesting posts and responses. I know I certainly learned a few things, and I like to think you probably learned quite a bit as well. The reason why I put this topic of memory here is because I wanted to make sure that we covered this before our first exam. I would imagine many of you have probably taken your first exam in some of your other courses, but one of the things we're going to be focusing on, in addition to considering some different memory systems, is the factors that influence memory encoding. So encoding means getting the information into the brain and then also how to enhance your retrieval. So one of the things we'll be talking about is study techniques. And then we'll talk about how memory is stored in the brain, as well as some problems that we have with our memory, forgetting and false memory. All right, so in terms of your tasks for this week, as always, you will have textbook reading, and here's the memory guide that accompanies that. And then for your web links and videos, there are a couple things that you're going to be doing. First of all, I have 2 videos from the crash course in psychology. I think you've used videos from this guy, Hank, before. 2 different videos, each are about 10 minutes, and they essentially follow along with our textbook concepts. And then I have also provided you with before I get there, an optional video as well. I really like this one. It's a full-length hour video, but I'm really just encouraging you to watch these 8 minutes right here. Scientific American Frontiers does a great job of really analyzing a number of topics within the field of psychology. And in these 8 minutes, he is interviewing and working with brain patient who goes by the name of EP, or initials of EP. He suffered damage to the hippocampus, and it's a really nice look at how memory is impacted and how it's not when you suffer from hippocampal damage. Really drives home that distinction between the different memory systems. All right, then in addition to those videos, I have provided you with 2 readings. Now, each of them are just popular press, well, maybe not. The What Works and What Doesn't is a popular press article written in Scientific American. The other one is maybe written for a slightly more scholarly journal, but they're both pretty easy to get through. I'm not expecting you to memorize everything that's on there, but these will certainly be of use if you are planning on doing a blog for this week, but also both of the topics I think should have a great deal of relevance to you as a current student and current or future healthcare worker. All right, now the learning activities for this week are relatively light. In fact, if you choose not to do a blog for this week, you have really very little that is required of you this week, so that enables you to prepare for your exam and start working on your projects. But I do want to speak a little bit about the blog. So as you can see here, there are 4 weeks when we will have a blog option. Let me pull open the blog right here, give you a little bit more information. So you can see those 4 weeks are week 4 now, then week 6, 7, and 9. This is week 6, I think, is stress, week 7 is development, and week 9 is related to conditioning or learning. So you have to provide a blog for 2 of those weeks. So that means if you wanted to, you could write a blog for this week, but you don't have to write a blog on memory. So you will choose which of the 2 blog topics you want to focus on. Blog posts do have a general length expectation. You're encouraged to compose it in Word and copy and paste it on over. For this week's topic of memory, you may choose to compose a blog post if you decide to blog this week. You can choose to post on either improving study habits or improving treatment adherence. So that's where those readings that I provided really do come in handy. All right, now if you decide to compose a blog for this week, what you would do is click here, open week 4 blog, and then I just pasted in those instructions again. That's the same thing that you saw before. And so you would click create blog entry, give it your own title, and paste in that document that you wrote in Word, just paste it in, and then click Post Entry. If you click Save Entry as Draft, you'll be able to see it, but nobody else will, so make sure you click Post Entry. Now, as I said before, you're expected to post only during 2 of the weeks, but over the course of the next 6 weeks, you are expected to respond to what other people post. So all the posts come this week, then maybe in week 5 or week 8, you decide to look back and respond to what other people have posted. So you have to have a total of 4 responses. That means you'll respond to one of the blogs from this week, one of the blogs from week 7, one from week 6, and one from week 9. And the way you can see who's posted a blog is you would click over here, and well, it won't let me click because there's no other blogs, but you would click right here and you would see other folks who have posted right here. So I'll say it one more time. You don't need to post a blog this week. It's a good week. It's relatively light. I think it's pretty interesting stuff, but you don't have to post this week. You are expected to respond to somebody's blog from this week, but you don't have to actually enter the response this week. So you could respond to a week 4 blog post in week 9 if you want to. So you have plenty of time to do the responses. But if you want to respond to the memory topic, you do need to post that blog this week. All right, then the other activity that you have for this week is similar to what you did last time, where you have the APR wiki. This week's wiki is on the impact of late night snacking on memory. So you click on your group, go to group wiki. You did all this last week. And then the week 4 wiki, which is created by one of your group mates. All right, so as you did last week, you would review all of the summary, and then you would decide to respond to one or more of these questions by clicking on the comment, entering information, and then click on add. And then it will be the job of whoever is the student doing the facilitation of the analysis to check in 2 or 3 times during the week and indicate when he or she thinks that a question has been answered. If there are any additional questions that maybe they want to pose, they can do that. And then the analyzer will compile what you all have said in the group, add their own ideas, and submit that at the end of week 5. All right, so going back to the announcement for this week, I've discussed all of the things that are your key tasks that you have to accomplish this week, but there's also 2 other things I'll bring to your attention. So this is our last topic for Module 1. I'm going to have the exam available by Thursday, so February 2nd, I'll have the exam available. That means if you're pretty light on your tasks for this week, maybe you want to get the exam started towards the end of this week, but it will stay open until the end of week 5. And then certainly, again, because we have a light load, if you haven't started researching your WITS topic, the walk in their shoes, this would be a great time to do it. As always, reach out to me if you have questions, or post one of your questions right here in course information. All right, thanks a lot, folks. Have a good week.